Alright, chat. We've got one more Malaysia video today. Again from Global Gibbon. This is weird Malaysian habits, unusual things Malaysians do.
Hello, uncle. Yes. Already on the way, of course. Yes, I'm on the way. Yeah.
Clearly on the way.
Sudamakan.
Clearly on the way.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know yet. Still MCO. I don't know what's next. We got
What's
MCO, RMCO.
What is MCO?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's. Oh, of course. Can la boss. Of course.
That's very Malaysian, no?
Yeah, see you. Okay, thank you.
I feel like Malaysians love to use acronyms.
Bye. Yeah, bye. Oh, hey guys. Oh, it's good that you're here because I wanted to tell you a little bit about the unusual habits that Malaysians have. Let's go outside and I'll tell you all about it.
Okay.
So, today I'd like to talk to you about the unusual habits that Malaysians have. Now, every country and every culture, they have their own unusual habits, of course. And I'm from the Netherlands, and of course, the Dutch, we have very unusual habits as well. You could see my previous video where I asked my wife about Dutch habits. So check that video out as well. Now,
Interesting.
I'd like to talk about the Malaysian habits that to me are slightly unusual. Here we go.
Let's see if I find them strange.
So
or not.
Unusual habits have to do something with language. So we'll start off with number one, which is that Malaysians tend to repeat their words. For example, if people want to thank you, they will not say thank you, or they could say that, but it's quite common for them to say thank you. Or if something is possible, you would say can, or can la. Another unusual Malaysian language habit is that there are
That's interesting.
of abbreviations in Malaysia. People use abbreviations for everything. There is, of course, we're in the MCO now, which is the lockdown, the movement control order, that is CMCO, RMCO, EMCO, PKP.
Dude, at what point do you like stop following them because there's like too many?
And most of the government agencies also have abbreviations. You got the JPJ, the MKN, the JPN, and there's so many abbreviations that sometimes it confuses me a little.
Yeah, I would probably be confused too, to be honest.
Unusual habit, I would say, is that all of a sudden everyone becomes boss if you need. Like you're on the phone or you want to buy something from a whole
That's just respectful though, no?
hardware shop. And it's usually, okay, thank you, boss, or can do, boss. Here you go, boss. Here's your drink, boss. Which to me sounds quite funny, and it's the usual habit here in Malaysia.
And I feel like that's just like respectful
here in Malaysia, which is everyone calls everyone uncle or auntie. And
I've heard about this, chat.
This was very unusual to me because I only call my actual aunties and uncles by those names.
Same.
It's a term of respect. So anyone that is older than you, you would address them auntie or uncle. So
yeah, that makes sense.
It was a bit unusual, but now I actually use that all the time. So everyone I meet is like, hey uncle, hey auntie, how are you? And I think it's nice. I think it's a nice but unusual habit. As a foreigner, perhaps the most unusual habit
for me, if that, I would think everyone's related, because again, I would only use it like him, actually referring to only my actual uncle or auntie. So like it would be like, wait, hold up, is everyone related here, or what's going on?
Is the usage of the word la. Malaysians have created
that's like a classic
or exclamation to give an extra emotion to a sentence. I always describe the usage of la as an exclamation used to amplify the emotion of a sentence. For example, if you're angry, you got the wrong food, you would say, hey, come on, what is this, la? You know, like you're a bit upset, but again, you could also use it if you're very happy.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask that because I thought maybe it only refers to like when you're maybe angry, but you can use it when you're happy too. So that's just
For
interesting.
example, your friend brings over durian, you would say something like, "Wow, that is so delicious, la!" And yeah, this la can be used for anything basically. So I think
I'm gonna start using it from now on.
la is perhaps the most
Is
unusual.
is there a way to like wrongly use la? Like, is there if there's like a sentence or like scenario that you would put la at the end? Is there like a a sentence or a word that you shouldn't be using it at the end of the sentence?
Usual Malaysian habit in their language that I have encountered. But then again, after 10 years, I use la a lot. La. Let's move on from the weird or unusual Malaysian language habits to something that I found extremely unusual when I first arrived here in Malaysia. In the Netherlands, every toilet will have a toilet roll for you to finish your business. But in Malaysia, almost every toilet, has
The water thing.
spray called a
Yeah.
boom gun, or at least that is the term that maybe English people use, or people that.
I've never seen that before.
So it's a spray for which you can clean your business after you've done number 2. And like I said, I've been here for 10 years, and I'm pretty happy that that spray is in almost every toilet, because I can go to the toilet everywhere now. Good stuff.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
What would a Malaysian be without food? Another unusual habit, at least to me initially, was that Malaysians constantly talk about food. They take photos of food, or they dream about food. For example, my wife wakes up in the
Food
morning.
is life.
The first thing she says to me is,
That's why there's food is so good.
"What to have for breakfast?" And then she follows with, "Good morning." So Malaysians love to talk about food, and yeah, I personally think that is a bit of an unusual habit. Now, as a follow-up on food and Malaysians, another
I wonder where that comes from.
or maybe not that unusual, is that whenever you meet someone, a Malaysian would ask you, "Sudamakan?" Like, "Have you eaten yet?" Which, it's a little unusual to me, because I would possibly say, "How are you?" or "How are things going?" But the standard
Interesting.
first question for a Malaysian when you meet them is, "Sudah makan?" And I think it's actually a nice habit, because it shows that this person cares
The
about
cares for them. Yeah, that's actually really nice.
your belly full. We stick to the topic of food a little bit longer. Chillies.
Ooh.
A very unusual habit to me is Malaysians and their chilies.
Put chilies on everything.
Love chilies. They are crazy about chilies. My wife sometimes even brings her own chilies in her purse to a restaurant.
Okay, that's a bit much now. That's a bit much, no?
Most Malaysians cannot have a meal, their rice or their noodles, without chilies.
Gotta have that chili.
Come in just chopped raw chilies or the pickled ones. And I must say,
Ooh, pickled chilies.
years of living here, I do enjoy a nice mi kolok or kolomi with pickled chilies.
Pickled chili sounds actually really nice.
Time. I've got another one for you, which is time is very fluid here in Malaysia. The wedding starts at 7. People usually show up after 8. And if you're meeting your friend at 2, expect them to arrive by 2:30 or later, because they're always on the way.
Always on the way.
Sitting at home or before.
See, this is very interesting to me, but I feel like a lot of countries where it's like a little bit warmer, right? For example, in Europe, like in Spain and Italy, I feel like a lot of Italians just take their time, right? In Spain, you have the siesta, right, where you just take break. Like no one's really rushing at all, right? But then when you go to like the more northern countries, everyone's kind of rushed and always on time. For example, I was always brought up that you have to be at the place like 15 minutes earlier, right? So if I'm going somewhere and I want to be there at 7, I go there at 6:45, but then I still stress that will be like traffic on the way or something like that. So I'm like adding another 10-15 minutes to like the journey, right? So I might as well sometimes show up half an hour earlier because I just want to be there on time. Uh, so that's a kind of
To come over to you.
the, I guess, difference.
Yeah, on the way, on the way. Yes, which is very different than the Dutch because we tend to be quite punctual as a people. But like I said earlier, I've lived here for 10 years and I catch myself coming late once or twice as well. Are you ready for one more? Whether Malaysians like it or not, it is a very unusual habit to double park. I've
Ooh,
noticed that Malaysians don't like to walk
I've heard
coffee shop or
about the Malaysian parking.
so it is very common in all of Malaysia to double park. Even if there's an empty parking space available maybe 50 meters away, it is not unusual that a Malaysian would double park and yes, pick up their food or do whatever they have to do. And again here, I must say, I've double parked as well. More often than I'm proud of.
I don't think I would ever do that.
Years of living here, I must admit that I have become a little bit Malaysian myself lah. And actually, I don't mind it at all. I love living here and all these silly habits or unusual habits are not silly to me. They are normal. Like I said, every culture has their own habits. And
Yep.
the ones here in Malaysia are pretty cool actually. You know, you call people uncle and auntie as a form of respect. And even though all the abbreviations can be a bit confusing sometimes, who cares? So, if you like this video, please
Yeah, that was a great video.
and make sure to subscribe.
Global Gibbon
If you're not
again.
subscribed yet, I'm
Insane.
kinds of videos every week.